back and create space to shoot. However, there are three problems. First, if the long jab is successful, meaning the defender retreats, you have to reset your feet to shoot. This gives the defender time to recover. There's just no way to shoot when you're in this extended stance. Second, if you overextend that jab foot, you lose your chance to be explosive. In fact, that's the subject of our next chapter. Third, any kind of excess foot movement seems to elicit a traveling call from the officials. That's why I haven't mentioned faking with a jab step to the right in order to drive left or vice versa. Some players mix a short jab with the head and shoulder fake and are very effective and get away with it. But for the one player who effectively fakes with his feet, I see 10 players turning the ball over with a traveling call. Now, there are two possible reasons that foot fakes could lead to so many traveling calls. It could be the game is moving faster and quicker, which makes reading your feet more difficult for the referees. Or it could be that in the last decade, players' footwork has gone from bad to worse. Whatever the reason, I'm simply being pragmatic when it comes to faking with your feet. You're risking a traveling violation. So, with that being said, is there a drive fake or a jab that can be used? One that keeps you in an explosive stance and enables you to quick draw? You bet. If your jab goes no further than your normal shooting stance, triple attack position, then you can shoot without any adjustment to your stance. Your jab has backed the defender off and you can quick draw. Now, I'm not looking for you to use this move over and over to get off your shot. Hey, when you back that foot up, a good defender might eat up that space and keep you from getting back into triple threat. So don't look at this as a move from triple threat. Look at this as a way to get into triple threat when you're catching a pass in an open stance. Let's look at three examples. Waiting one pass away with your pivot foot planted toward the goal and an open stance to the passer. Perhaps you were intending to catch the ball square to the goal, but the pass is thrown behind you. You're trying to shorten your distance to the goal by dragging a foot while catching the pass. In all these cases, you have to pivot and square up as soon as you catch the ball. So why not make your pivot square up look like a drive? Jab your foot right to your shooting stance or triple attack stance. Jam the ball into your shot pocket and look like you're ready to drive. Now the ball's on your shot line and in your shot pocket. It's a simple read from there. Hands are down, quick draw. A short closeout, fire. Show retreat, swish. And if he freezes, see ya. In a nutshell, if the drive fake works, then quick draw. If it doesn't work, then nothing is lost. You don't have to make any adjustments. You're in triple attack with a good stance and good balance and the ability to explode by your man. How do you blow by him? That's Chapter 2.
Everyone wants that explosive first step that leaves the defense holding on to their shorts. Hidden among the details of your first step and first dribble are secrets that can pack serious punch into your game. Understanding and applying even one of these techniques will give you a quicker first step. Mastering them all will allow you to maximize your physical abilities and make you the most explosive player you can be.
The first step to becoming quicker is to make sure your mechanics are efficient. To do this, we must break your motion down step by step so that you can correct any wasteful movements that might slow you down. Most of this chapter is explained in terms of an open step and a cross step. Let's define them first. If you drive in the direction of your attack foot and leave your body open to the defender, it's an open step. But if your attack foot crosses your pivot foot, it's a cross step. Now, let's first examine the open step. From triple attack position, rip the ball quickly to your hip and prepare to open step. Make sure that you've rotated the ball, dribbling hand on top and your other hand underneath. The reason for moving the ball to your hip is that before you go by the defense, you want to hide and protect the ball by putting part of your body between the ball and the defender. This is called keeping your game tight. Defenders will be reaching in and hacking at the ball. You want to be strong, tight, and compact. From here, you're ready to time the first step and dribble together. This means your foot and the ball hit the ground at the same time. This ensures that the ball is being dribbled before the pivot foot leaves the ground. Put yourself in the official's shoes. Referees must make a split-second decision, and I've always believed that it's made not on what they see, but what they think they see. And when they see your first step and the ball hitting the ground at the same time, they know your pivot foot has not left the ground too early. So, time the first step and dribble together to ensure a legal move and no travel calls. Place the dribble outside of your foot for two reasons. First, you don't want to dribble off your toes. Second, with the ball on the outside of the leg, it's farther from the defender and your leg is being used for added protection. Reach out with your non-dribbling hand, your inside arm, as if you're going to shake hands with someone. I'll explain why later in this chapter. Now, let's take a look at the cross step. Again, rotate the ball on the way to the other hip so that your dribbling hand, in this case the left hand, is on top of the ball. As your attack foot crosses over your pivot foot, again, time the ball hitting the floor with your foot hitting the ground. Reach out and shake hands with the inside arm. We'll turn this movement into one smooth motion that slices like a knife. But first, let's maximize your quickness and explosiveness by improving your biomechanics. I've spent a lot of time talking with the best speed people in the world. Speed, quickness, and explosion are not just about who has the strongest muscles. They're also about using the movements that best allow you to maximize your quickness. You must recruit the right muscles with the right movements to reach your explosion potential. Let's apply this science to your first two steps. To start, let's take a look at the open step. The leg that you're pivoting with will initiate the first explosion. This is the foot opposite the direction you want to go. Your hip, quads, and calf all come into play, but the most explosive muscles are located in your glutes. Bending your knees is not enough to recruit your glutes. Your hips must be bent as well, just like you saw in triple attack. In addition, your knee should be over the ball of your foot, and to push off at an angle, the line of your knee must be slightly on the inside of your foot. How your first step hits the ground is crucial in determining how explosive your first two steps are. Let's look at two principles. First, don't step heel to toe. If the only part of your foot to hit the ground is the ball of your foot, you'll immediately explode in your second step. Think of it like the difference between a jogger who runs heel-toe and a sprinter who stays on the balls of his feet. Second, your foot should hit the floor directly below or behind the line of your knee. In other words, your shin should be at an angle of less than 90 degrees with the floor. This, combined with your chest stuck out and your head over your knee, allows you to recruit the glutes a second time. Now, when players cross-step, they don't seem to have a problem with these mechanics. The shin strikes the ground at the correct angle, and with the head over the knee, the glutes are recruited for maximum explosion. But problems seem to occur with the open step. Many players are so eager to beat their defender with that first step that they take a really long stride to get completely by their man. And the longer the step gets, the slower the rest of the move becomes. No amount of practice will make it better. You must first understand what you're doing wrong before you can fix it. Let's look at why you slow yourself down with an extremely long open step. When you take a long first step and your foot hits the ground in front of your knee, the shin forms an angle greater than 90 degrees with the ground. Your glutes are not recruited as your heel hits the ground first. In fact, this is actually the motion you'll use to stop, not to explode by your defender. So to compensate, your hamstrings must now pull your body forward until your weight is back to being over your knee, the point where your glutes and quads can be used. Your hamstring is weak and slow, and you even stand a chance of hurting it when you ask it to pull your body forward in this manner. So, to get the most out of your open step, shorten it slightly. Strike the ground with the ball of your foot and get your head and chest over your knee with your shin angled less than 90 degrees with the ground. Now you'll recruit your glutes for maximum explosion. It's a well-known fact in track that sprinters use their arms to explode out of the blocks. In the same fashion, I want you to use your arms and the added weight of the ball to explode in your first step past the defender. When you're creating momentum, using your arms and a 1.5-pound ball can make the difference, and that's our third explosion